This is 14 News Sunrise.
Well, welcome back at 6:30 on Thursday, April 21st. I'm Shaelie Clark. Well, breaking news this morning, crews are battling a massive house fire in Warwick County. Tanner Holbrook's on scene. What's going on, Tanner? Evansville police are on the scene of a double homicide. It's happening on the west side of Evansville, actually right there on North St. Joe. So Jessica Costello's live on scene now with what we know. Jess. At one point there was a shootout between police and the suspect. It's happening in the area of Henning and Ridgeway Avenues. Well, Jessica Costello's there right now with what we know. Jess. We know that southern Hopkins County was under a tornado warning and residents went to their safe places. LaDonna Hooper and her family lost their home in the December 10th tornado. Well, she says they took shelter in their church. Right now, they're living in the Echo Village home. As that storm upgraded to a tornado warning, it was a reminder of how their lives have changed. Meanwhile, the U.S. death toll from COVID-19 could hit 1 million by next month. That's according to the forecast released by the CDC. Johns Hopkins University reports just over 986,000 deaths have been confirmed since the start of the pandemic. Despite possibly reaching the million-mark milestone, the CDC says COVID deaths are on a downward trend overall.
Shaelie, what do we know about the president's visit today?
Well, Tanner, we do have some times, but specifically when he will be here where I am in Dawson Springs is unknown. You know, the past few days, we've really been talking about the destruction seen in several Kentucky communities. I mean, you can get a glimpse of that, a little of it behind me here.
When you hear the number 810, it truly gives you a little bit of perspective of just how devastating this tornado was for the areas.
Absolutely, because each home represents a family that lost so much. So we're going to touch a little bit more on that coming up. Also, we'll discuss the FEMA response as well as more details on that presidential visit here to Dawson Springs. Tanner. Thank you, Tanner. Another huge story this morning. It's back to school today for Dawson Springs Independent School System. So those students are going to be headed back for the first time since that deadly tornado ripped through their community. Jessica Costello live now with the superintendent of Dawson Springs Independent School Systems, Jess.
This right here, I mean, it's just every home, every tree is snapped, every power line is down. There's cars flipped over. I mean, look at this van right here, just thrown into this ditch. Look at this home right here.
An update this morning on the stabbing death of a 15-year-old student at a California high school. Police have arrested a man in that incident. 52-year-old Anthony Gray was booked into the San Joaquin County Jail accused of murder. Well, a check of breaking news before we go this morning. Crews are still out in the cold at a house fire on Main Street in Elberfeld this morning. Tanner Holbrook is there too, so let's get to him for more information. Tanner. Let's get to developing news that we first told you about here on Sunrise yesterday morning. Officials say no survivors have been found in that scattered wreckage of the China Eastern plane crash.
So this was carrying 132 people when it went down on a wooded mountainside.
Well, many starting the new year are looking for some new hobbies, and there is an opportunity everywhere, including some involving bees. Jessica Costello joins us live from Warwick County at Dogwood Ridge Bees to explain, Jess. A follow-up in trending this morning, Adele gave some of her disappointed fans a once-in-a-lifetime treat, a personal video call.
The way I'd faint if this ever happened to me.
First of all, let's give you a look at this entire gym. This is full, that's full, and look at all these elementary school kiddos over here. Hi guys, thanks for coming. What a fun morning we've had with the McLean County Cougars. Now I'm here with our last group of folks here. Principal Tara Howard, we actually got a little surprise, don't we? We sure do. All right, it's a pirate theme. What do they got for us over here to really kick in this theme? Let's see if it works. There we go, a cannon. What a fun morning we'd had with you guys.
Walk through the streets of Dawson Springs, once lined with homes, you'd hear one harrowing story after another. We've heard stories of storm shelters to even bathtubs saving lives. For the Latham family of Dawson Springs, they have a refrigerator to thank for their lives being spared. Shaelie Clark reports.
Well, there used to be a wall back over here in this basement.
Every pile of rubble represents a different story.
The storm blew through the basement. We were pinned under this refrigerator.
The Latham story is a story of survival, and it begins Friday night with a phone call from Mom.
And we had kind of gone to bed. At that time, my mother actually called and forced us to get up. and moved to the basement.
And moments later,
No sooner than we got back to a corner, the entire tornado hit and blew us into the back of the basement.
it's hard to believe in a matter of seconds their home went from this to this. It's even harder to believe that Will, Shannon, and their daughter survived. They say something amid that chaos became a life-saving shield.
One of our refrigerators we had in the basement for extra storage actually blew over with us and covered myself and my daughter. If it hadn't been for that fridge, we wouldn't have made it.
Shannon slammed into the back wall, didn't have that shield. But she was able to free herself enough to get help for her family trapped in that debris.
And so I just kept holding my flashlight up in the air, flashing it off and on so someone could see my light, and just kept screaming for help.
Days later, this couple stands at what used to be their front door, thankful that their story isn't over yet.
I think we'll be fine. We're not sure we're going to build back here yet or move on, but I think we'll be fine. We've been very fortunate.
All because of this.
The refrigerator really, in this case, could be the hero of this story.
With an ending still yet to be written. In Dawson Springs, Shaelie Clark, 14 News.
Blue Angel 7 flew in early yesterday. Shaelie Clark was one of the lucky 3 to hit the Kentucky skies for a once-in-a-lifetime ride with the Blues. We are now getting an exclusive look inside the cockpit of an F-18 Hornet.
There's 260 knots.
Can anything really prepare you for a takeoff like this?
Oh my gosh.
Let me answer that, no. But the hours before, myself and 2 other lucky ladies did our best to try.
Squeeze those legs. Ready, hit it.
Seems easy enough, right?
And then you're
I wasn't going to let those 7 Gs get me, so I suited up and buckled in. My pilot, Lieutenant Commander Andre Webb. He knows a thing or two about this F-18.
All set.
All right, good luck.
But was I ready for that 45-degree, 300-mile-per-hour takeoff?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You go. Look right. There's Owensboro.
Amazing.
Down Owensboro there.
And after that, the sky was the limit.
Ready? Smile. There you go.
This is so cool.
We did some loops.
Now, if you tilt your head all the way back, you can see our smoke trail.
And of course, those quick rolls.
Motorbike 658 Papa Charlie, stand by, sir, I have your request.
When the time came to fight those G-forces through a breathing technique called the Hick maneuver, well, I almost made it. But the black closed in,
Shaelie, you with me?
and my stomach rolled on its own.
There you go. You're back.
But we'll skip that part. I'm sure you'll understand when you see them for yourself at the air
How
show.
you doing?
I'm gonna throw up.
Uh-oh. All right, get your bag. You know, the show site itself is very unique there on the river downtown. And I think that's probably the thing to look most forward to. It's something a little different than what we normally do.
Of course, my ride was nothing like they'll experience during the show. Even though those G's got me in the end, I still landed with a smile.
This is yours.
Thank you so much. This is so neat.
And thanked my awesome pilot for the ride of a lifetime.
Cool. It didn't feel like anything I would have expected it to feel like. So very neat.
An Owensboro pastor is praying for a Christmas miracle to be reunited with his family after nearly 4 years. Shaelie Clark visited with this family and learned it's faith and love that's brought them this far.
You could say a pastor is right at home when with his congregation. They become a family, which is what Pastor Camlin Halcup says his life revolves around. His original plan didn't include these new friends, but it did include what he calls a higher calling and a tough decision.
I discussed with my wife, hey, darling, I really want to do my father's study. What do you think about it?
She thought he should go for it, even though that meant leaving his home in Myanmar, leaving her and their daughter for 2 years. The plan then was to return. But when he finished school, a new door opened to lead a congregation at Bellevue.
This is Cam Lynn, and he has officially moved here to Owensboro.
The next step, bring his family to their new home. Hugging his wife and little girl after so long was right around the corner.
And would you pray? We're hoping in a few months to have him, if not sooner, to have them here, a part of Bellevue.
But so was something else.
Breaking news tonight, the coronavirus forcing millions more Americans into virtual lockdown.
The coronavirus crisis now perhaps triggering even tighter travel.
It's now been nearly 4 years since this family of 3 has been together. Their meals now shared through a phone screen. Prayers sent oceans apart.
When you expect your family to be joining, but suddenly, the news just hit, boom.
The pandemic made a complicated process even more challenging. Embassies closed, travel restrictions shut down borders. But this family set their eyes on a new year, hoping that their day would finally come. Except 2021 had the biggest challenge yet.
After nearly a decade sharing power with civilians, Myanmar's military staged a coup.
A family in waiting, now a family on the run.
That's no rest in Burma right now. Even my whole family had to leave my own town, my hometown, and run for their life.
They escaped to a neighboring country, his little girl seeing the violence firsthand before getting out.
And whenever she heard the gunshot and whenever she saw all those things, she used to say, "Daddy, I'm so scared. Daddy, I can't sleep."
Words that would keep any parent up at night. But Cam Len and his family aren't losing hope. It's their love that's brought them this far.
Our love is increasing more, and we are fall in love day after day.
A love with no borders. So the waiting continues. Camlin's Owensboro family praying too for this overdue reunion.
I pray that God, you have given to us your son as a Christmas gift. This year I pray that you would give my family as a Christmas gift.
A gift, as the hymn says, a wonder-working God can bring. In Owensboro,
have a good night.
Shaelie Clark, 14 News.
Love you. Bye-bye.
The pastoral staff at Bellevue tell us that they've been helping Pastor Camlin communicate with Senator Mitch McConnell's office about the situation, and they have made strides. For now, they continue praying and hope for good news soon.
Chaos is no stranger to the big man in red.
Are the cookies almost ready?
His hustle and bustle looks a lot different this year.
Ho, ho, ho.
But he's found creative ways.
There you are.
To see those smiles.
From looking at some different things on the internet and on YouTube, I thought, well, why not do a virtual visit? At least we can have a connection.
Connecting in 2020 can be tricky. The kids can't come to him for those early Christmas wishes. So he and Mrs. Claus must deliver the magic.
Ho, ho, ho!
Right to their door.
Oh my goodness.
And jolly old St. Nick still creates a smile.
That's for Asher.
From 6 feet away.
The boys that we visited, you could still see, the excitement in their eyes, and Santa came here to see us.
That is why he puts on the red coat. It goes with him everywhere, even when he swaps the sleigh.
I love that picture.
For a cruise ship.
I always put little sticky notes on the door.
Because even on vacation.
And all the store helpers come running, "Oh, it's Santa, it's Santa, can we get a picture with you?"
Kris Kringle lives for the smiles.
There's nothing like having a young one come up to you and their eyes are just so large. And it's not just magic for them, it's magic for me.
All of the other reindeer.
Santa's had a year sprinkled with change too.
This guy came to say.
But the mission remains the same.
If I can be a small part of someone's life and bring a little bit of joy or hope, then I'm happy. Truly happy.
Mission accomplished. In Owensboro, Shaelie Clark, 14 News.